whether in the fully online courses, students can share information. And you can actually do it too within the website that supports this course. Because if you notice in the right-hand corner of the incoming page is a notation of who's online. And you can find out who is there at any time and actually trigger a chat and talk to individuals and perhaps exchange information. Okay, so let's go. I'm just going to slide this out of the way, Aaron. Good move, thank you. Now, look at the definitions. Now you can look at the slide, sir. It's okay. I summarized right out of the textbook, ethical behavior is good, right, just, honorable, praiseworthy, and unethical behavior. Basically the opposite. Now, by doing that, if you can open a window on me, Aaron, I'm using my hands in a way. I know you folks in here can see it. But ethical behavior is over here in my left hand. Unethical behavior is over here in my right hand. And my hands, and this I'm speaking this way for the sites because we don't have a window view at the moment, but is it that clean that this is ethical, this is unethical? Or is it fuzzy? Everybody, I'd like to hear from every one of you, including the remote sites.
Fuzzy. Fuzzy.
Keep going. Just keep talking. Is it fuzzy or absolutely clear? Let me rephrase it. Do any of you feel that you have an unquestionable notion of right and wrong? I do. Now, why do I have an unquestionable notion of right and wrong? Because that's the way my mother raised me. Didn't I tell you who she was? And I used that example last night in the special seminars the dean has organized, and it turned out the fellow in the front row who was about my age, he was raised in the same part of the country. He was raised in Massachusetts, and his brother was a Jesuit priest. And I told you my late mother, was a former nun, and she would tell us right and wrong. There was no question. Now, I'm saying this because it's something I'm going to present to you in a bit, and it actually was embedded in the E exercise. And I think I shared with you already that I cannot tell a lie. It makes me, lying just is not part of my personal philosophy. And did I use the example of my daughter at the age of 14 or 16 asking me how her new shorts made her knees look? Did I use that with you? No? All right. And it's for all the women in the audience, but think about when you were 14 years old or so, and Nicole is a very attractive young woman. She's 28 now. But here was the question. I'm just sitting in the living room, and before I give you my answer, I want to know what you would say. Let's put her at 14 years old because I can't remember the exact age. She's the youngest of my 3 children. I'm reading the newspaper or something in the living room, and Nicole comes in and says, "Dad, I bought these. These are my new shorts. Do these shorts make my knees look fat?" All right? What would you do? If you laugh, why? Because laughing is almost a nonverbal communication that says something. Go ahead.
Just because it's a funny question.
It's a funny. Well, no, it's not a funny question. She's a little, at that age, a wee bit self-conscious and really wanted to know because her mother wasn't home. So it comes to Dad for this big decision. Do my knees look fat? I could bring her in here and she'll tell you. This happened. What would you say? You're laughing up here. What would you say?
I would say no.
Okay.
attractive, right?
Yeah?
So they look good.
No.
No, they didn't?
That was the problem. So Dad had to do his duty. I can't lie, and so after she asked me the question, I said, yes, Nicole, these shorts make your knees look fat.
Did you really do that?
Yes, Deborah?
Yes, I have to chime in. It's just killing me. Okay, so I would actually say...
I want to look at the camera. I keep looking at the... Go ahead.
That's fine. I would actually say that telling her that you thought her knees looked fat in those shorts might have been a lie that was then an unethical thing to do, because that would probably extremely hurt her feelings, and there was probably a way as her parent that you could say that you were happy with her body type, or that you felt like she had other more attractive shorts, or ways that you could dissemble, which you say you can't do. But I would say it was unethical to be truthful in that situation.
Wow, my mother is turning over in a grave.
Self-serving, because it made you feel good, but it made her feel terrible.
It's a superb argument. I've never had anybody address it as completely as she has done. And there's a whole body of truth to what you're saying. I'd love to turn to the monitor to my left, and I can see the group in Los Alamos. In my case, the personal philosophy is driving what I would do. Now, but did she feel a little hurt by that? She did feel a wee bit hurt. And I said, Nicole, you asked me a question, and you wanted the truth, and I gave you the truth. Now she knows, and she still asks me, believe it or not, and she's married and lives away in the city, but she comes over and she may ask me a question about how does my hair look. And she pauses a little bit, and then she's done some new stuff to her hair, and it's quite becoming. And I told her, it looks really nice. It's shorter than she had it before, etc. And is it Deborah there at Los Alamos?
Yeah, Debbie.
Debbie, okay, thank you. And Debbie's not wrong in her analysis at all of my behavior, but I choose to behave according to the values that drive me. And I know you had a question or observation. Did I kept on talking, I'm sorry.
You covered it.
Okay. Now, we can go back to the slide. Thank you, Aaron. And the judgment of behavior in the ethics arena is based on a specific theory or moral philosophy, and we'll take a look at those. I'm not going to take our time in here to look at it in detail item by item, but I'll give you what I perceive as convenient summaries. And I have some what I perceive as excellent film scenes to flesh out what we're talking about in ethics. And if you remember from the syllabus, one of them comes from Grumpier Old Men, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, and the other one comes from the original Godfather. So let me try a wee bit on an ethical dilemma. This was also an E exercise, but it's framed slightly differently, and I would like you to try this. You're wandering about the campus, and during the change in classes, people move quickly, it seems, going from one place to another, and obviously they can drop money. And you look down on the ground, and you see a single cent. And incidentally, I've done this example in about 5 countries, and I changed the currency to fit the country in which I'm working. But there's 1 cent. Now, here are the facts about that 1 cent. Unless you can verify, because you had passed by that particular spot shortly before and you dropped a coin, and now you discover that it's 1 cent, that 1 cent does not belong to you. Am I correct in that assumption? Or is this so silly that you don't want to pay any attention to it whatsoever? But is it a fact that it doesn't belong to you? I'm getting at least 1 nod in the back row under the spotlight. Okay, got 2 nods. I will assert that 1 cent does not belong to you.